Okay, I've got 8:01, and we'll go ahead and roll call ourselves into the Chenango County IDA Board meeting.
Raymond here. Corey here.
Give it me.
Burton here. Great. Hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the minutes. Need a motion to approve the minutes of June 16, 2021.
So moved.
Need a second? Okay, good. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote.
Raymond guy.
Corey, I've given.
Burton, aye. Great. In the interest of a speaker that we have today, we're going to adjust the agenda just a little bit. We're going to move Norbit Solar up to the top of the agenda, and they'll be up next.
Are you on the phone, Barry? Barry, are you there? So I guess, do you want to do financial report first, and then if they hop on, we can come back?
Sounds good to me. All right.
Okay,
So
sorry.
another adjustment.
I'm going to readjust.
We're going to go to the financial report of June 30, 2021 financial statements.
Okay. So about quarterly, I'm going to try to do a little more, not line by line, but a little more in-depth discussion with you about the financials. So if you can just follow along with me, that would be great. So the first thing I want to note under the statement of financial position, on note number 2, this is our financing lease. And for those of you who may not follow this as much, this has to do with the on-the-rail building in Cascoon. So as you see, under June 30th, 2021, it shows $29,900.01. That number is reduced at the end of the year after their payments have been made for the year. So the starting balance at the end of December is what was left on the pilot agreement. So that number will stay that way until the end of the year when we close out what they paid. And then, so next year, you'll see that number reduced. So I just wanted to let you know that that's what that number reflects. It's the Cascoon lease that we have. Under the property and equipment, this is are things that we own. Of course, everything is depreciated over time. So every year, note number 4, our depreciation does go up each year, which makes our value of everything go down a little bit. And then the balance of our assets is listed below, which one right now is just around $1.4 million. A little bit further down under liabilities and fund balance, this is our equity. So right now our equity total is about $1.3 million. And our total liability and fund balance is just over $1.4 million. Under aged receivables, I do want to note, as you know earlier, there was some activity with some of the pilot projects that have closed. Those will show up in the next report. They haven't actually hit our bank account until July, so that's why they're not reflected in this report. But you will see those fees that we received coming up next month. Under our aged payables, the amount for bond Chenango King is related to railroad work that they did for us. Anything that has to do with pilots does get separated out and billed back to the customer at the closing of the pilot, but these fees were related to railroad research that they did for us before we switched to Coughlin and Gerhardt. And also, I do want to make a note about NYSEG. So Chenango County Planning had been promoting the solstice promotion with solar energy that you can switch over to them. We have made that change for all of the entities under Commerce Chenango. That includes the airport building. So I finalized that this week. So we are now participating in that program that the county has been promoting. Shane knows more about that. Do you want to say anything about the program?
Yeah, so basically what this is, you can sign up to get provided electricity that's generated from a solar facility right here in Norwich. So as part of the program, if the county gets 25 entities to sign up, we get a $15,000 grant from NYSERDA. You get a $100 gift card, and we get a $100 gift card again. So it's just a really good promotion to not only make Chenango County more relying on our energy produced here, but it's also helping us with clean energy projects in the county.
And hopefully we'll see a reduction in costs. As you know, we've been trying to monitor that airport building, and especially if we're gonna have some activity soon, it'd be nice to get a reduction in that, so.
They estimated up to 10% discount.
So hopefully we'll see that. And I did ask Kathy Jo to track it. So over the next, after we make the switch 6 months, a year, we'll take a look and see, if we, what our entry costs really look like. Under statement of activities, just a couple things I want to note. If you go down to pilot fees and projects, the Tiffany Solar Project, you'll see the $99,638. That is what we brought in for the closing of that project. Under other income, the $1,250 is a budgeted amount related to FEMA, to the project that we've been working on the railroad. That's what we budgeted. We still don't know what that amount is going to be. We're just hopefully very close to closing that, and I'll talk about that later. But I think somebody asked me what that amount was budgeted for, so I wanted to let you know. Under expenditures, you'll see, if you look under year-to-date actual, the first line, economic development, that $38,625, that is regular fees that we pay back into the economic development program. So, per our administrative services agreement, we have so much that we give to DCC, and DCC gives money to Commerce to help pay for salaries and office and, marketing, all those things. So that's just your amount that is given over. We did have $77,250 budgeted for the year, so we're right on track with that. Under other project economic development service fees, this is where you're going to see that pilot money that we give to DCC reflected. That won't hit the budget until these numbers until next month, but that's where you'll see that amount. We budgeted $18,750 because we had an idea of what projects we were going to have this year, and we have exceeded that. So that'll be nice for both of us. It's good for the IDA, it's good for DCC. It helps with our overall economic development program, and you'll see those numbers next month. Our auditing expense, just want to make a note, we're slightly over budget. Our final audit bill was $6,800. We had budgeted $6,500 at the time that we did the budget. We didn't know exactly what the number was going to be, so I wanted to let you know that's why it's $300 over budget. But I think we were all very happy with the budget process, so I don't think any of us have any issues with that, but just want to note that's why we're over budget there.
On advertising and marketing,
Yeah.
$2,500 in June, what does that entail?
I don't know specifically what it was for. We budgeted $5,000 to help with advertising and marketing. So whenever we do something that's economic development related, the IDA and DCC split that cost. But if I can get a breakdown for next month if you want to know exactly. We do a variety of marketing. We do radio ads. We do, some TV. We do print. Sometimes we do things through social media. So whatever we do, if it's economic development related, IDA and DCC split that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then just on the last page, I just want to note that we have the reminder that we have that contingency budget still sitting in there. That was something that Randy and I had decided to put in when we were balancing the budget last year. Just make sure to let you know that amount is still in there. And then our final net activity, this was something that Kathy Jo told me, which I thought was good to share. If you look under year-to-date actual, that $90,289.74, that number should always match the first page on the balance sheet. If you look under fund balance net activity, those two numbers should always match. And that is all, unless you have any questions about anything.
Okay, need a motion to accept the financial report.
Make a motion. To accept the financial report.
Great, need a second?
Of course, seconds.
Great, any discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
Raymond, aye. Corey, aye.
Burton, aye.
Barry, are you on with us?
Dave Norman's here.
Oh, hi, Dave. Well, we skipped and came back, but glad are we waiting for Barry as well?
I don't believe so. I think that they were just going to handle it for today, if that was okay.
Okay, sure. So Brian, do you want me to jump right in?
Yep,
Okay.
let's go right back into Norbit Solar.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. And we moved this up a little bit because Dave had another obligation later. So thanks for joining us. We heard a proposal from Norbit last month about two proposed pilot projects in Coventry. So they're back today to see if you had any additional questions or discussion, because we're looking to move this forward to the next step, which would be a public hearing. But before you authorize me to move forward with that, we wanted Dave here just to answer any questions you might have about the proposed project and see if you're willing to have us move forward to that next step. And Dave, did you want to say anything?
No, just thank the board for their time and to allow me to do the Zoom meeting because of my conflict here. And if we do move to a public hearing, my goal is to 100%, of course.
Does anybody have any questions for Dave at this time? I know we asked quite a few last time we had him in regards to school districts and things of that nature.
Maybe a progress report, where are we now? Just for those who may not be up to speed, David, where are you with the project now and how's it looking?
We look really good. We now have the full town approval, negative deck with the speaker. So we're finalized with that process. We just have to finalize with the DCC for publication on their website. And then this is the last step right here is with the IDA. Our goal still is to break ground in November of this year, to have a completion date of next year. The hope is right now of third quarter of next year we would be finished with the project and online for taxes to start in 2023 for the taxing season there.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions at this time? No? Okay, great. Dave, thanks for joining us today. So at this point in time, if we see fit, and it sounds like we do, but silence, we need a motion to move forward to allow Carrie to move forward with a public hearing on this.
Motion made by Corey to commence with the public hearing.
Yep.
I'll second.
Great. Any discussion? Great, we'll vote.
Raymond, aye. Corey, aye.
Bert, aye. All right, David, we just voted to approve Carrie to move forward with planning a public hearing and getting that scheduled so we can get things rolling for you and hopefully keep you on track for that November start date for you.
Awesome. Thank you all for your time this morning, and I appreciate everything, and I look forward to meeting everybody.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Dave. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, bills and invoices. Again, doesn't look like anything's out of the ordinary, other than the 32,000, which is the DCC portion of the special project fees of that 99,000 that we received. So I need a motion to accept bills and invoices.
So moved.
Need a second? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Raymond, aye. Corey, aye. Given.
Bert and I. Great. Old business, Expedition Chenango rail bike proposal.
Okay, so we have continued to work with the railroad and speaking with John and Isaiah about the project. The railroad has not said no. We're trying to work through insurance and scheduling and get a more detailed map of the area that they want to do. So I have a call scheduled with Melanie at the railroad early next week to try to work through some of those items. Per our lease agreement with the railroad, we do need agreement by all parties to be able to do this. I know that was something we were looking into. So we do need to come to some kind of consensus, but I feel like we'll be able to get there. The railroad's major concern is really if and when what she's saying to me is their hope is to get this back online at some point with rail. That's not happening right now. So, I think that there's a way to get to that point. It's just getting them to make that final agreement with us. But I feel confident we'll be able to work something out.
Good. We haven't heard anything about any further damage over the last week or anything on that road.
I know, that's what I was thinking about last night, I have to tell you.
Every time it rains. it's
I
the first
know.
thing that goes through.
Nothing that I've heard, but, yeah,
Okay,
we'll have to
good.
probably have to go out and take a look and see.
Thank you. So I guess that transitioned us right into
Yeah.
the flood of 2019.
So I had a call with FEMA yesterday. We have a weekly call set up just to check in with each other. As far as we are concerned, the IDA has done everything we need to do. They had a couple questions about some of the mitigation that was done, but we really are in the final stages of this. I think they're waiting for the railroad to get back to them with a couple numbers, and they had one question that I said to send to me in writing because I didn't quite understand what they were asking me. It's a totally a railroad question, but I think we're in final stages, so it's just waiting for the final paperwork to finish.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Update on the DOT permanent easement.
Yes, so a few months ago, I think I shared with you that Shane went with me and we met with DOT down in Green, past Raymond, almost to Chenango Forks. There's a permanent easement that DOT is moving that bridge. I don't know what the bridge is called, somebody here probably knows. They're moving that bridge from where it is down the river. So part of that arrangement with DOT is a permanent easement. They are not looking to retain 100% control. They look at it more of like a 90-10. So we will still retain ownership of the property. They've been working with the railroad to actually do something with the crossing and work on the track to make it a road. Right now it's really like a driveway and they're going to make it a 2-lane road for the bridge. I finally received their agreement and appraisal package just last week, actually. So their proposed fee to pay us, it's a one-time fee of $2,175. I did speak with our attorney, our new attorney at Coughlin and Gerhart about this, and he said that's pretty expected. There's not a whole lot we can do based on the amount that they're looking to give, and in truthfulness, they really could just take it. So it's, when Shane and I spoke about this, he said, don't expect more than a couple $1,000s for something like this. So really what they just need from me is signing of the paperwork and accepting the offer, and then we'll receive $2,000, $2,175 for the permanent easement, and they'll move forward with their project. Unless you want me to appeal it or contest it, but the advice of our attorney is don't.
How's it affect the interest of the IDA
So what happens is anything that is going to happen on that part of the track, we would have to make sure that DOT is involved, which the railroad would be involved with that as well. So, and we're all, the railroad's aware of this, we're aware of this. It just adds another player into that system that we have in that one section of the track.
Any other questions in regards to that? If not, I would need a motion for Carrie to sign the easement proposal as outlined by the DOT. Great, can I get a second?
Second.
Good, any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote.
Raymond, aye. Corey, aye.
Given
Burton, aye. Excellent.
Thank you.
Cascoon?
Yep, so I did email you about this a week or so ago. I just wanted to let you know that Cascoon is looking to continue with their pilot agreement with us. I know a couple months ago I had said that they had requested to be let out of their pilot. There has been a changeover of structure and management, and so the person that was managing it didn't want the property anymore. The person who's taken over wants to continue that project. So they are looking to retain that pilot agreement, which means they'll retain the property. They want to fulfill it. They are planning on doing some work there and expanding their services to that area. I've also let the Village of Bainbridge know because they've been asking me about this as well. So I've made them aware that Cascoon is moving forward with that project. So that's good news for us. It means it's one more property we're not taking back, which I don't think any of us wanted that to happen. So good news.
Great.
What's the status of their operations there? Are they actually physically in the building
They
and
have,
working to?
yeah, they have storage in there. Yeah, they've been using it for storage, and that's about it since they've had the lease, which is about 2 years now. But when I spoke with Don Cascoon, I think, yeah, yes, He said that they're gonna have to do some work on the building. He's on the back side. There's some part of the building is falling in. It's not in great shape. But he is planning to do the work and get some part of his operation expanded there.
Now, is the front a retail operation or is it strictly production?
I think it's an empty building right now.
Right, it's just not on the main drag.
Scott Street, it's just off of Route 7, yeah.
Okay.
But it's good, it'll hopefully mean more jobs and increase, economic activity in Bay Ridge, which is good.
Are they up to date on the payments?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Tiffany?
The project is closed, so we're good there. Thank you very much. We got, everybody was paid, everything is ready to go. The filings with the county that needed to be done have been done, so all done.
Awesome.
Take that off.
New business, Nexus renewals.
So we have another new solar project that will be coming our way. Listen, we're getting very good at this. So I was contacted by Nexus Renewables. They're looking to do a 2.5 megawatt solar project in the town of Acton. They are looking at this similar to Coventry, where there's one company with 2 projects. This is one company with 4 parcels. After talking with our attorney, we're pretty sure this needs to be done in 4 separate pilot agreements, but we could do it as one bulk, everything like we're doing with the Coventry project. But it's 4 separate parcels, 4 separate projects in their eyes. I don't have
Chenango County.
It's Chenango County. Yep, it's in Acton. Yep. I don't have the application yet, so I'm not sure exactly where in Acton this is, but just this is more of a heads up that we'll be seeing an application from them very soon.
Total of 2.5 megawatts.
Yeah.
Is that one of the smaller ones or the smallest?
That's pretty small. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the smallest.
Split 4 ways. Very small.
He did say it was a community solar project, but we'll see what the application says. Okay. Any questions on that? Just keep going. Okay. All right. All right. So exciting news. We've been trying to actively market the building that we own down at the airport, our incubator building, and actually the company that we used to lease it with has come through, so I'm pretty happy about that. CBRE contacted me a few weeks ago, wanted to show the property. He contacted me a couple weeks ago and said that his client was interested in entering into a lease with us. He's looking to do a 1-year lease with an option to extend it for 2 years. They want the entire building. We negotiated about cost. We settled at, with the final, what they came back to us, the proposal to us is $5 a square foot, which ends up being $87,600 for the year, $7,300 for the month. In addition, they will take all expenses. So they will cover, the electricity and the maintenance and all of that. We looked at 2020 numbers to give them an idea of what we paid, and we told them it was about $15,000. But obviously with somebody in the building using the utilities, it's going to go up, and I clarified that they will just pay it. In speaking with our bookkeeper, the best way to do that is we will just keep everything in our name because it's a short-term lease, and then we will bill them retroactively. So we'll continue to pay bills as we are, and then we'll bill them for those expendables the following month. So, in addition to the rent that we will receive, we'll get all these expenses paid, which is great. CBRE's role in this, because they're the one that facilitated the deal, they would get a 6% annual cut that they would get up front. So it's about just under $6,000, which still nets us, just over $80,000 plus reimbursement on all of our expenses for that building. And they want to move in August 1st.
The good thing too is to get that site back active.
Right. To see somebody in it and active, yes, definitely. Definitely. I do have to work out the lease agreement with them. I have our attorneys working up something, but I don't have that yet. But if you authorize me to move forward, I can go ahead and go into that agreement with the company.
What type of business activity will be going on?
It's a teleconnect company that's doing some expansion. We can talk about it in more detail in executive session. Okay. Table it till executive?
Yeah, I think at this time, because you guys probably want some more information on who and what they're
Get all
gonna
these,
do.
Okay.
exciting.
Yeah, and we need to talk about the negotiation side of the lease, so we'll discuss all that in executive session if you guys are up for it.
Okay,
Okay, good.
thank you.
Paving project, Raymond Corp.
Just a heads up, I've been in contact with a couple individuals at Raymond Corporation. They are doing a paving project in one of their back parking lots, and it butts up against the property with the railroad. So I made a connection between Melanie at the railroad, because some of the things that they want to do, the paving isn't so much an issue, but they also want to create a pedestrian walkway across the tracks. Which again, right now with no trains, it's not such a big deal, but once trains are moving, the railroad has some serious concerns about that. So just to more give you a heads up that we're starting that negotiation and talking through. They wanted to start paving this month, and like, whoa, railroad's got to get involved. We can't just give you authorization to do that. We need to get it ready at the table. So their paving project might get a little delayed, but it's just to make sure that everybody understands the maps and what they're looking to do. And if they want to do this pedestrian walkway, that's a whole other thing that we have to talk about.
Is that just for recreation, or does that get somebody from point A to
It's
point
for,
B?
yeah, it's for, I guess there's a parking lot that they want to try to pave and to add more parking to their facility, so it'll get them easier access if they can cross the bridge, if they can cross the tracks.
So I guess I'm a little confused because the railroad's across the river and it's nowhere near the property of Raymond Corporation. So
They have a building across.
do they-
Actually, they have a couple.
Yeah, are they
I'm not sure
are they
which.
used at all, or are they used at all, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them are occupied.
is it by page C, or is it someplace?
Yeah,
like that?
just before you get to page C.
Just a heads up.
Good. All right, well, that's everything on the regular agenda. At this point in time, I would need to have a motion to enter executive session to talk about legal matters pertaining to the railroad and negotiations of the lease with the incubator building.
So moved.
Okay, we need a second.
Second,
Okay, we'll vote.
Raymond, aye.
Correct.
Goodbye.
Bert and I, and we do expect to take action
Yes,
upon leaving executive session.
if
Okay,
you'd like to
Thank
stick
you.
around, get yourself at home.